Let's talk a little bit about this tulwar. This was something I acquired recently in a batch of items I was fortunate to buy. Now, in a nutshell, I really don't know a lot about tulwar. I know there's a lot to be admired. What I can say is that I see that there are folded patterns within the steel that leaves me with the idea that the blade is not likely a reproduction, at least in the patterns that I see in the steel. I could be off on that. It may be a reproduction or not an antique, but based on the patina, the color of some of the rust, and the pattern that I see in the steel would make me think that this is very likely an antique. Unfortunately, I don't really know much about tulwars. What I do know a little bit about is Japanese style swords, and a lot of times with Japanese style swords, the hilt, in terms of where it was, how it's shaped and all of that type of thing, the blade shape, the pattern in the folding of the steel, the shape of the blade, how the pattern is laid out in the steel, what the tip looks like, all of that information gives you some idea of where it was made, who made it, and unfortunately I don't know any of that information when it comes to tulwar. What I can say though is that the blade is a very pleasing shape. It's surprisingly nimble in the hand, and I find that that's very common of antique swords in that they were intended to be used as an actual sword, so they're much less cumbersome than they appear. They look kind of thick, but they're balanced out in such a way that somebody made it and said this is supposed to operate as a sword, and so it feels more lively and nimble in the hand than some of the modern counterparts. There's a lot of color on the grip. I don't know if that's exactly an inlay or if it is something else that is kind of chemically stained or stuck on the blade, because some of it seems to have worn off, so I don't think it's inlaid in there, though I don't know exactly how it would be laid on the iron or on the steel without. And then again, I don't make swords, so I couldn't tell you. But the silver color contrasting the iron handle is very appealing looking. It has some floral pattern on it, I believe, and it's got the little knob on the end, which is common for tulwar. What I like most about it though is really the blade. There's so much activity in how the steel interacts, and there's so much to look at and study, and it's something that I enjoy quite a bit in Japanese swords, and I enjoy it quite a bit in this one as well. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed.